Hi guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com, and in this week's ukulele lesson, we are going to be learning a waltz in C. So this is a classical guitar piece that I adapted to the ukulele, and it was composed by Ferdinando Carulli. Now, Carulli was a well-known classical guitarist in the 1800s. He was a composer and a teacher, and I think this piece is super duper awesome for the seasoned beginner because it's going to present a great challenge in that there's a lot of movement. It breaks you away from playing only in the beginning of the neck. So we've got a bit of jumping throughout this piece. And there's also some techniques that are going to be involved, such as staccato and slide. So a lot of useful stuff for someone who's been playing for a while and is starting to transition from beginner to the intermediate level. So I've gone ahead and split this piece up into 3 different melodies. We have melody A, B, and C. And what makes this piece really cool is that each melody revolves around a different chord in the harmonized C major key. So the first melody revolves around the 1 chord, which is C major. The second melody revolves around the 5 chord, which is G7. And the third melody revolves around the 6 chord, which is A minor. So what it does is it gives each melody a different kind of theme, a different kind of vibe, a different kind of feel. And I think that's really cool because the overall feel of the piece is playful, but each melody has a unique vibe. So with that said, let's talk about this lesson. This lesson is going to be part 1, and in part 1, we're going to learn the first half of this tune. So if you guys want to learn the second half, we're going to be covering that in the part 2 lesson at rockclass101.com. So you can click this link right here to check out the entire lesson, or you can go to the site and do a search for Waltz in C. So at that page, you'll also be able to find the complete tabs that you can print out and follow along with as a PDF format and get access to the on-screen tab viewer. Now this is a really cool feature where you can hit play, watch the tab scroll across in real time, you can highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed you wish, just a really great asset in tackling a tune like this that much easier. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into this lesson. So we're going to kick off with melody A, but before we get there, let's cover a few basics really quick. The first thing I want to point out is that each melody is 8 bars in length, and seeing as this is a waltz, we are playing in 3/4. So that means that we have 1, 2, 3, next measure, 1, 2, 3, next measure, and so on. So there's 3 beats per measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. Now the rhythms that we're playing, almost all of the rhythms in this song are quarter notes. So if you're new to understanding rhythmic notation, then you definitely want to check out this lesson real quick because we're going to be counting out the rhythms as we work through this piece. Now the next area that I want to touch on is the right hand. We're going to use a 3-finger approach for finger picking. So that means that our thumb gets string 4 and 3, index would get string 2, and middle would get string 1. So this is the 3 fingers that I think most people will use. I'm going to be using these 3, and that's only because I have some nerve issues with my index. But if you want to try what I'm doing, again, thumb would get string 4 and 3, middle would get string 2, ring would get string 1. So let's go ahead and jump into it now. And I'm going to go ahead and play just the first bar, and then we'll break it down. And this bar is all quarter notes, so you can think of it as 1, 2, 3. And also, I'm going to be adding some staccato to the second and the third beat. So listen out for that. So here's what the first bar sounds like, and it's out of C. Alright, so let's go ahead and break that one down. So the first thing that we're doing is we're playing out of a G chord shape. So if you think of a G chord, if we were to move it up the neck, all the way up until it gets to 7, 8, 7, then this becomes a C chord. So we took a G shape and we made it a C chord. So if that's like, what is he doing? Check out this lesson on the caged method. It's all about learning to move chord shapes up the neck so that you can play higher voiced harmonies and things like that. So really, really useful information. But as you notice, we're not making the full shape. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to take that middle finger, put it on the 8th fret of string 2, and your index finger on the 7th fret of string 1. Now we're also going to be playing the open G along with it. So keep in mind that 3-finger approach for finger picking, and we're going to be playing 4, 2, and 1 and ignoring string 3 for this first bar. Okay? So the first hit is just going to be string 2 by itself. Remember, the rhythm is all quarter notes. So for beat 1, we're hitting string 2. We're going to hold that out like a regular note. But for the second and the third hit, we're actually doing staccato. So you hear staccato is da, da. So we don't want it to sustain. We don't want the note to ring out. We don't want to go la, la, la. We want to go la, da, da. Staccato on beat 2 and 3. So staccato in a nutshell is pretty simple and straightforward when you're playing a fretted note, but it's a little tricky when you have an open string like we do for the second hit. So let's talk about the second hit. Second hit is going to be the first string and the fourth string, so string 1 and 4 together. Now, to do a regular staccato, let's just take the first string. So get rid of the middle finger, just keep that index on the 7th fret of string 1. So if I play the note regular, you see I keep pressure held down, and you hear it sustain. If I want to do staccato, it will look like this and sound like this. So you hear the difference, right? Sustained, regular note, staccato, which is a quick bop. So with staccato, all you're doing is you're literally lifting pressure up. So you pluck the note and then lift pressure up. So pretty much immediately after you pluck. So you can see that I lift the pressure up and the string goes to a natural position. See, when it's pushed down, you can see the string is depressed. When I do staccato, it literally goes to as if you weren't touching anything. Now, big thing with staccato is you don't want to like go a complete finger lift up, because then you'll get that open string ringing out and it'll just sound really bad. So you just want to lift pressure up till the string returns to neutral or the natural position. So that's the trick with it. Now, like I mentioned a second ago, it's tricky with the open string because you've got to use the palm of your right hand to perform the mute. So try just the fourth string. Remember, if we play the note regular, it just sustains, it rings out. Bum. So you just hear the note ring out. But if we do staccato, I'm using the palm of my hand right here to touch the string after I play it. So you can hear same thing, right? Bop, mute, bop, mute. So that's what I want you, so hit pause and just practice that. Practice that for a little bit until you get used to it. So you have to do both together. You have to do the lift up of the first string, and you have to do the pluck and then mute with the palm of the right hand. So in unison, check it out. It's really quick, right? Let's slow it down. So you probably just want to hit pause right now and practice this. So if you're new to using the right hand for muting and for getting more accuracy and precision in right hand attack and playing, strumming, and etc., then we actually had a recent lesson about a couple months ago, fingerpicking etude number 11. This lesson goes super in-depth about using the right hand for muting and cleaning up your playing. So I'll also link the lesson in the description box below. I'd highly encourage you to check it out if you're new to using the right hand to do some more complex things like we're talking about. So that's beat number 2. So we have 4 and 1 together, and we have the staccato and the mute. Now after that, we're going to play string 1 and 2 together. And again, we're applying the staccato. So this time it's easier because all you have to do is lift up string 1 and 2 until the strings return to the natural position. So bop. So all together, guys, you have string 2, which sustains, regular note, then string 1 and 4, staccato, and then string 2 and 1, staccato. Remember, the rhythm is quarters. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try together, you and I, slowly. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice, one more time. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So after this, we're going into bar 2, which is B diminished. Same rhythm, sounds like this. Okay, so same feel as well, where we sustain beat 1 and beat 2 and 3 has staccato. So let's tackle this chord shape, B diminished, a little tricky. So when you're on C, you want to move the middle finger up a whole step and the index finger up a half step. So that means that your middle finger goes to fret 10 on string 2, index finger goes to fret 8 on string 1, and we're going to add the ring finger to 11 on string 3. So I'm ignoring string 4 for this one. I have 11, 10, 8. That gives me this diminished chord. And what we're going to do is play string 2 by itself for beat 1. So that's a regular note. After that, we're going to pluck 3 and 1 together. Okay. Not like that, like this. And apply the staccato. Okay, so that's beat 2. And then beat 3, we're going to do 2 and 1 together. Okay, so this one, you just want to memorize the pattern. So you have string 2 by itself, sustained regular note, staccato on 3 and 1, and then staccato on 2 and 1. Okay, so 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so let's see if we can try that one together. Here we go. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. Now with this staccato too, I'm just lifting up the pressure on everything as I play through it too. So even though we're only really focusing on 3 and 1 for beat 2 and then 2 and 1 for beat 3, I can go ahead and just move in unison as I do the staccato. It's just going to make it easier instead of trying to do like keep this anchored for beat 2, keep this anchored for beat 3, right? So it's easier. Watch how the left hand moves for the staccato. So each finger lifts up. Okay, so that's just going to make it easier. So you can keep that chord shape. You see what I'm doing? Just pushing down and up like that. So pushing down as if I'm playing the entire chord, and then lifting up as if I'm muting. So it's just a good way to practice this because the shape is really kind of awkward. So you can just do that for a little bit just to get used to the staccato. It should help form the muscle memory needed and the finger strength needed to get comfortable with that staccato hits. Okay, so again, let's give it a shot. So we have 2, then string 3 and 1 staccato, and then string 2 and 1 staccato. Okay, so let's give that a shot, you and I together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Let's do it again a little bit slower. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So now let's backtrack. Let's go bar 1 to 2. And one thing you want to practice is just that transition. So you can hit pause on the video and you can just practice going from C, and you can pluck those 3 strings and then go to the B diminished, pluck those 3, and you can just go back and forth just to get that movement down. You can put it into a time frame like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can practice that transition. It should help you get those bars down that much easier. So let's try bar 1 to 2. Here we go. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. So here's the cool thing. When you get to bar 3, it's identical to bar 1. So again, you're back to C and you've got 2, pluck, pluck. Right, so let's try that one. Bar 3, identical to bar 1 out of C. Here we go. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Now bar 4, different. We have a slide. Here's what bar 4 sounds like. Same rhythm though. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So let me play without counting. Okay, so you have da-dum-bum. So get that stuck in your head. So this one's out of G. So we're going to take that index finger, put it on the 5th fret of string 1. So I want you to play that note plus the 4th string together. And then from here, we're going to slide to the 2nd fret. So again, we're just going to move that index finger down and slide to the 2nd fret. So when sliding, you want to keep pressure held down. That's the key for here. Don't rush the slide where it's like, right, because we need to keep the timing going. We need to be 1, 2, right? So quarter note on everything. But we want to keep pressure down so we have a nice even slide. And we don't want to rush the timing. And we want it to be nice and smooth. So again, the slide is a nice smooth 5 to 2. We don't want to hear any of the frets in between. We don't want to hear something like that, right? You want a nice even slide. So keep your eye on the 2nd fret. And don't watch your hand move down. Slide that finger until it reaches your eye, meets your eye on the 2nd fret. That should make it a lot easier. Now after that, keep that index finger held down there and then add the middle to the 3rd fret of string 2. That's going to be beat 3. That's going to be beat 3. It's a tongue twister. Remember, all quarter notes you have 1, 2, 3. So again, it's 1, 2, 3. Let's give it a shot, you and I, slow. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Now if we backtrack, let's try 3 and 4. Remember, 3 is identical to 1. So here we go, 3 and 4. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Now let's see if we can go 1 through 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Now if that play along is a little quick for you, you can use the little cog on the YouTube player to slow it down. I'll put a little picture here that shows you the steps. You could slow it to 75% and practice that with me. But now we're halfway through melody A. So let's take a look at the 5th bar and the 6th bar. And we're starting to see something, more repetition, because bar 5 and 6 is identical to bar 1 and 2. So you're back to C, and then back to B diminished. So 5 and 6 is the same as 1 and 2, so we're just going to skip through that and let's cover bar 7 and bar 8. So we're going to tackle both together because they're pretty simple. So bar 7 and 8 sounds like this. Cool little walk up going from G to C. So it's going to be the open G, the open A, then your index finger on the 2nd fret of string 1, and then we're going to use the middle finger to form the basic C major. Okay, so remember all quarter notes we have 1, 2, 3, and then bar 8 is going to be a dotted half, so we hold it for 3 beats. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's try bar 7 and 8 together. Here we go. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3, strum, 2, 3, done. Awesome. So in the context of it though, if I play 5, 6, 7, and 8, it sounds like this. You can see how simple it is when you're up here in this hard B diminished to literally just lift that fingers up and then play bar 7 into 8. So let's give it a shot. So we're starting on 5. Remember 5 and 6 identical to 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Strum, 2, 3. Done. Nice. Now let's tackle all melody A, bars 1 through 8. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Strum, 2, 3. Done. Nice. So melody A is going to get repeated twice. You're just going to play all 8 bars again. So you've got 16 bars total. After that, you move into melody B. And melody B is the only one that doesn't repeat twice because I wrote a variation. So melody B, we're going to learn the first 8 bars in this lesson, and then the second 8 bars for melody B will be a variation, and that's where we'll start with the part 2 lesson. But let's go ahead and tackle the first 8 bars. Now, remember that I had pointed out in the beginning that each melody revolves around a different chord, and that gives us a different sounding vibe, different theme for each section. So melody A had revolved around C, melody B will revolve around G7, so the 5 chord. So here's what the first bar sounds like, and we'll break it down and learn it. So same vibe and theme though that's happening with the rhythm, right? Where we're holding out beat 1 and then staccato for 2 and 3. So keep that in mind. So it sounds like this. So this is a G7 chord. I know, a little bit different than what we're used to. And it's, again, a bit of an awkward stretch. So let's break it down. I want you to add the ring finger to the 5th fret of string 3, middle finger to the 3rd fret of string 2, and the index to the 2nd fret of string 1. So we're going to ignore string 4. So a bit of a weird stretch. Really important that we have proper form for the left hand, this U-shaped gap, and the thumb placement, which is slightly above the center of the neck. If you're new to really honing in on your left hand form, it's super vital for a tune like this. Check out our lesson on proper left hand form. It's going to cover everything in depth that I just briefly mentioned. So let's get this chord intact and then let's pick out of it. This one, the picking's a bit easier, it's more straightforward. So the first beat, we're going to hit string 3 by itself. Okay, and then the second and third beat, they're both the same. You're going to be plucking string 2 and 1 as a staccato. So we mentioned earlier that you can lift up each finger as you're doing the staccato. You can keep that same theme happening throughout this part too, and you can practice just like we talked about a little bit earlier, where you're just getting used to doing that staccato out of this chord shape. So you're lifting up and down like that. So again, this one's going to be playing string 3 and then 2 and 1 together twice. So you have 3, pluck, pluck with staccato. Right? Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. Nice. So after this, we're switching over to a C chord. Partial bar. Again, this partial bar shapes and proper left-hand form is all in that article that I linked just a second ago. So definitely check it out if you're new to it. But you're going to use your index finger for the 3rd fret, strings 1 and 2, partial bar. So the second joint is where we're curved at. And then the middle finger goes on the 4th fret of string 3. So again, we're ignoring string 4. We have 4, 3, 3. So same picking for the right hand, which is 3, pluck, pluck. But this time staccato is a little weird, so you can practice again like we're doing. You can even see that when I do the staccato, that first joint pops up a little bit to help me. So it doesn't have to be completely straight and flat. So again, this one, 4, pluck, pluck. Right, so actually let me call it the strings, that was confusing. So string 3, then string 2 and 1, and again 2 and 1. So let's give it a shot. Here we go. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. So string 3, string 2 and 1, pluck with staccato. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. Nice. So one thing you want to practice is that transition from the first bar G7 to the C chord in the second bar. So the easy way to transition for this one is start off, go ahead and make the shape for G7, and then what you're going to do is you're going to shift that middle finger up. So take a look, the middle finger goes up a string, up a fret, and then index lays flat. So index needs to come up a half step and then lay flat. So look at how seamless that transition is. All this is happening while the ring finger lifts up because we don't need it. So again, you just want to practice that transition in a time frame like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So just to get used to it and get that muscle memory formed, because that is a tricky chord change. So let's try 1 and 2 together. So bars 1 and 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Now the third bar is a bit tricky too because we have a quick jump. So we have a bass note, that's this D note, on the 2nd fret of string 3 with the index finger, and then we're jumping up halfway up the neck to 7 and 8. So you're going to jump up, you're going to use the middle finger for 7 on string 2, ring finger on 8 on string 1. So again, we're playing out of B diminished here, but it's just a hard transition. So you can see what's happening. Same rhythm, 1, 2, 3, same staccato. So really tricky because you've got quick movement. So again, how I mentioned using the eye, you can keep your eye on 7 and 8. So when you move from the 2nd fret up to 7 and 8, just move your hand until it meets your eye. Don't follow your hand while it moves up. And go ahead and try and be in position. So you see how I'm over here on the 2nd fret. Look at my second and third finger. They're already in position to be on 7 and 8, right? So they're not sitting here like in some G chord shape or something. They're ready to pounce, basically, right? So get ready and be in position so when you get up there, you can nail it in time. So this one, you're playing string 3, fret 2. That's beat 1. Then you're going up to 7 and 8 with middle and ring. Staccato twice. So you have 1, 2, 3. Let's give it a shot real slow. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. One more time. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now the fourth bar, back to C. So same shape we talked about in the very beginning for bar 1. But this time we're going to use the third string. So we're going to pluck it open. And then we're going to pluck 2 and 1 together after. So staccato on those, actually. So this one, again, is a transition you want to practice. And it's pretty easy. So if you have the B diminished bar 3 shape, to go to C, all you have to do is lift the ring, we don't need it, move the middle up a half step to the 8th fret and add the index to 7. And there you go. You transition from bar 3 to 4. That one's pretty simple. So again, for this one, we hit string 3, and then we pluck 2 and 1 together staccato. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's try you and I. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. So let's backtrack. Let's try 3 to 4. So we got that quick jump. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. And now let's go 1 through 4. So starting on G7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do it again a bit slower. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now the same thing we saw in melody A, bar 5 and 6 will be identical to bar 1 and 2. So you're literally going to go back, you're going to do G7 again to C, and then bar 7 and 8 will be different. So it's got the same kind of vibe as the ending of melody A, where you have a slide to resolution of C. So playing out of G7, resolving on C. So you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's tackle bar 7. You're going to use that middle finger, put it on the 8th fret of string 1, play that plus the open G string together. From there you're sliding to 5, and then you're going to move and play the 2nd fret of string 1 with the index finger. So you have 8, 5, 2, all quarter notes, right? 1, 2, 3, and then just move up a half step, and you can resolve on C. So let's give this one a shot. Don't forget to pluck 4 and 1 together for that first hit. So we're going to play bar 7 and 8 slowly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. One more time. 1, 2, go. 8, 5, 2, strum, 2, 3. Nice. Let's backtrack. Let's do 5 through 8. All right, here we go. Starting on G7. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Strum, 2, 3. Nice. Now let's go 1 through 8, so the entire thing. Here we go. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Strum, 2, 3. Nice. So guys, that gives us everything for melody B. So far we've covered melody A and melody B. So don't forget that melody A repeats twice. So you play the 8 bars twice, give you 16 bars. Melody B, we play these 8 bars once, and then we're going to do a variation for the second 8 bars of melody B, which sounds like a little bit like that. And that's where we're going to kick off our part 2 lesson at rockclass101.com. So if you guys want to learn the second half of this, so that variation plus melody C, we're going to be covering it right here. So you can click this link or just go to the site and do a search for Waltz in C. Don't forget that the tabs are available for premium members to print off and follow along with as a PDF format. And you can get access to that on-screen tab viewer, so that interactive tab player that's super duper cool. I think it's over here. So all those assets again are at rockclass101.com. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you in the part 2 lesson. Thanks.